How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast/vlog. Today I want to talk about meal preps and how I fell short meal prepping today. So, let's go. So, meal preps. But before I get into that, I'd actually like to talk about my workout. Today is Tuesday, and it was actually a leg day today. And I do legs twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. And it wasn't that bad. I woke up feeling really exhausted this morning, really wasn't feeling it. It was a little bit trying, even getting out of bed this morning. I just wanted to stay in. I had been debating or tossing around sort of ideas on should I call out of work today? Should I take a personal day? If you're about making up things for sick days, I'm not about that. Sometimes you just need to take a personal day, and I'd rather own up to that and just say, hey, I'm not really feeling like coming into work today. I need to take a personal day. If your employer is not about that, that's between you and your employer right there. But for me, we're allotted personal time or PTO, so we don't have sort of things broken up like these are your sick days or your sick time and this is your personal time. It's all lumped together as just PTO or personal time off. So long story short, or sort of got sidetracked, but I had been battling that this morning on whether or not I wanted to take a personal day just to get a few more hours of sleep. And eventually I just said, forget it. And I got up, got my morning routine going, got into the gym, warmed up on the bike, which one of the bikes that I typically go to because I am a creature of habit, it was actually out of commission. So that was not wanting to let that damper or hamper my day. I just got on the bike right next to it, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if you guys are the same, but I typically go in and I get on the same machine. I get in around the same time every time and just go about my day like that. And sometimes that can throw people off, having a machine or a piece of cardio equipment that's unavailable. People don't want to adapt or understand that, hey, it's all the same. It's all doing the same thing. So I ended up getting on a different bike than the one that I typically do. On leg days, I like to get on a bicycle and spin for a little bit just to let my legs and my knees get warmed up. And then I move into some mobility stretching, which are like leg swings and doing deep squats and stretching my inner thigh and stretching my hamstrings, things like that before performing squats. And then today it was a front squat. Fridays I do back squats, but today on Tuesdays I do front squats. So I do 3 sets of 10 on my front squat. And I like to warm up through the movement. It's one of the things that in a previous YouTube video by Mike O'Hearn, professional bodybuilder and fitness model, he actually performs his warm-ups, or at least he said in the video, he likes to perform his warm-up through the movement. So I implemented the same thing. I squat with the bar for like 5 slow reps. On the last rep, I'll pause in the hole, and then I'll start slowly adding weight until I get to my working set, which today it was 135 pounds for 3 sets of 10. I'm going a higher rep range, which I find first thing in the morning, no excuses, but this is what I've been experiencing. I am gasping for air. Like I get winded. Doing 3 sets of 10 or just a rep range of 10 in general feels like cardio. I had been doing like heavy sets for low reps, and to go into a higher rep range, it's a bit of a challenge right now for me. But I started pretty conservative. Each week I try to add 5 pounds to the bar, and I've been making those consistent 5-pound gains every single week. So those 2.5 pound plates that you see floating around the gym, they have a purpose. They help. Try to make a 10 pound increase every single week can be a stretch. I remember when I was deadlifting, those 2.5 pound plates, I used them so much that my old gym partner, he actually just bought me 2.5 pound plates to keep in my gym bag, which I don't really, because I don't want to carry 5 more pounds in my gym bag. But nonetheless, it was one of those things that when people ask me, how did you get to deadlifting 405? And when I deadlifted 405, it was like, well, how did you get to deadlift 500? Each of these were milestones in my own personal journey for powerlifting. But I told them, and I tell everybody, those 2.5 pound plates, I did it 5 pound increases every single week. Granted, I was using the Ed Cohen deadlifting program, which is an amazing program, and for anybody looking to make significant gains in strength on the bar, definitely check out the Ed Cohen program. Just Google Ed Cohen deadlifting routine, and I would say if it's your first time doing a program like that, be very conservative with your numbers, because you don't want to burn out on, say, week 2 or week 3. Feeling that challenge or feeling challenged with the weight by the middle of the program, at least for me the first time around, was something that was it felt pretty good, and I was able to then push through the remaining workout. And that's how my first time through the Ed Cohen program, I made it to a 405 1 rep max, and then my second time through the Ed Cohen program, I made a 500 pound 1 rep max. And then I tried to attempt the Ed Cohen program again, where I was aiming for more, but the gym sort of tapered off at that point in my life, and so I wasn't able to complete that portion of the program. Where I'm at with deadlifts right now, I'm not currently deadlifting. I'm doing a lot of accessory work, hamstrings and calf or quad extensions and things like that. I don't work calves. If you're about that calf life, more power to you. I don't really care about working my calves, so I don't. But once the weight drops, or the body weight or the body fat drops on myself, and I'm able to feel a little bit more comfortable in my powerlifting belt, then I'll begin to implement deadlifts again. But though I left off at my heaviest pull was, I want to say, 545 pounds for one, I don't want to try to jump right back in that ring or that arena right out the gate. I'm going to be very conservative again, and know that it's, as I said in previous recordings, it's a marathon. It's not a race. So I'm in no rush. I'm in no hurry. I have nothing to prove to anybody but myself. It's a challenge that I'm going through with myself. So again, I'm gonna take my time. But after the front squats, I moved into my leg press, and I do leg press twice a week. On Tuesdays, I do double leg press, so both legs on the pressing. And on Fridays, I do single leg press. So it's a significant drop in the weight on the machine, focusing on just one leg and the time under tension as well as the contraction, and really focusing on a mind-muscle connection. For my double leg press that I did today, it's getting up there. I don't write down the weight because I don't necessarily know how much the sled weighs. And when you start racking up plates, the number, I don't really care about the number, so I just count the plates. And in my weightlifting log, which I'll probably go through and show you guys one of these days how I write down in my log. But in my log, I put the number of plates. So I'll put a 6, and then I'll put a backslash, and then the weight. So currently it's 6 45-pound plates. And I'll just write 6 45-pound plates, but what I mean by that is it's on both sides. I just don't want to put, 12. So I'm counting the amount of weight that's on one half of the sled. So right now it's 6 45-pound plates. It was one 10-pound plate and then one 5-pound plate. And that actually felt pretty good. I think that next week I'll move up by 5 pounds with my leg press. I started with 4 45-pound plates on each side, and I went up 10 pounds every single week or every single time that I was doing the leg press. So I'll probably go up by 5 pounds now, because today it actually felt challenging enough, and I don't want to get too crazy too soon. So I'll probably do a 5-pound increase next week. From there, I moved on to my leg extensions, and leg extensions were pretty good. I do double leg extensions, or both legs at the same time. On Fridays, I'll do single. Again, Fridays for me are more like focusing on the mind-muscle connection, focusing on the contraction and time under tension, and really trying to bring up if my left leg is lacking or my right leg is lacking, really trying to bridge the gap between those imbalances, because whenever you're doing a movement with both legs at the same time, more often than not, the dominant leg will dominate the lift. So implementing days to focus on individual limbs or individual muscles is a really great way to bridge the gap between those imbalances. And after that, it was hamstring curls. Fridays, I don't do hamstring curls. I actually do stiff-legged deadlifts, which I found really, really work my hamstrings, and I really, really feel it in my glutes. I do it with dumbbells because it's a little bit easier on my back. When I was doing it with the barbell, I figured I might as well just deadlift, and sometimes I end up deadlifting. So with the dumbbells, it's easier for me to focus on, yes, this is a stiff-legged movement, and I'm able to really feel a much deeper stretch, because sometimes, maybe depending on your height or whatever, I could stand on a block, I could do a lot of other things with the barbell, but I felt like I wasn't getting enough of a stretch in the hole, or when I was at my, I guess, fully extended in the forward position, if that makes sense. But with dumbbells, I feel it a lot more, and it feels like a lot more of a stretch. So dumbbell stiff-legged deadlifts are definitely where it's at for me. For you, it may be somewhere else, but this time around, I've really been focusing on what exercises and what movements am I feeling the most, and am I feeling it in my muscles that I want to feel it in. A lot of times in the beginning, I found myself just pushing weight, just slamming out reps, and not really focusing on the time under tension, not really focusing on the movement itself. And that could lead to injury. It didn't for me, but it's just one of those things that I really want to implement, and I really want to think about this time around. So I know I said I was going to talk about meal preps, and here we go. I missed my meal prep today. Life gets busy. Got a little one that's super rambunctious right now. Doesn't want to take his naps every single day. So he definitely requires a lot of attention. And because of that, it may sound like an excuse, but I didn't have time to prep any food for today. So I stuffed my lunch pail with all the other snack items that I had. I put 2 protein bars in there. I put 1 serving of Cheez-Its. I had some trail mix from Trader Joe's. Like all these things to try to hopefully make it through the day. And what happens by lunchtime? I end up breaking, and I go to Jack in the Box and get 2 tacos. Granted, I did get a Coke Zero, so I want to think hashtag semi-clean eating, but it's not a good choice. It's not a good decision to make. I mean, I need to stay on top of my meal plans. I need to stay on top of things like this and not allow these hiccups or these bumps in the road to become more regular. And so today I'm actually here. I'm going to pick up some meat and throw that on the grill and do some meal prepping today and right now. It's definitely an important part of the process. For me, the first time around, I would meal prep on Sundays, and I would actually make every single meal for Monday through Friday, and then Saturday I would implement my cheat meal and so on and so forth. But this time around, I found that I'm not eating my food. Like by Wednesday, I'm looking at that food and it's like, it just doesn't look right, or it just doesn't taste right. It's lost its flavor or that pizzazz, or I've gotten bored of it. So I'm actually meal prepping for 2 days. And then by that second day, I need to meal prep again for the next 2 days. And it's a little bit more cooking, but it's what's been working for me as of late, except for today. But it's been what's working for me. My meals can be changed up. It's not the same thing Monday through Friday. And I'm able to feel like I'm able to stay on track a little bit more doing it this way. So when that changes, if that changes, is to be seen. But for right now, I make 2 meals. I prep 2 meals for my work week. And then after consuming those, I prep 2 more. And Fridays, it can be up in the air. If I know I have a cheat meal on Saturday, on Fridays I'll have something light, like a bowl of tuna, or sometimes barbecue Friday at my current job. It lands on a Friday, and I'm there at work eating barbecue. So Fridays are kind of what's it feel like on a Friday. Well, again, thank you guys for taking the time to listen to this, and I'll talk to you guys again in the next one. You can follow me on my Instagram. It's at Ramon_Campamor. That's CAMPOAMOR. If you're liking these vlogs and these podcasts and you're on YouTube, be sure to give me a thumbs up or a like. If you're listening to me on iTunes or the Google Play Store, be sure to give me a rating. A 5-star would be great. And let me know what you guys are thinking. I'd love to hear from you guys. Feel free to slide in the DMs. Send me a message if you have any topics that you want to talk about. If you have any questions for me and my weight loss journey, I'd love to hear them. Or even any tips or any suggestions on things that I should think about or implement this time around. I'm starting from the beginning and going through this journey again. So I don't like to think of myself as a person who, I already know what to do. I've done it before. I don't want to hear it. I'm really open to anything and everything, because it's a learning process and you can learn something from everybody. So again, thank you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next one. See ya.